Hey guys, it's Rush, hope you're doing well, welcome back to the channel. This video today I'm going to talk about armor in Street Fighter 6 and how to counter armor. Now this is not a new concept, we all know that super arts and throws will beat armor. If a attack has a number of armored hits, if you spam a number of hits in a quick succession, that will break the armor as well. But we'll look at this concept, but we'll look at it within matchups and against particular characters. There are some counters you can use to beat certain characters' armor. So if you're not familiar with armor and the concept of it and how to beat it, we'll use Drive Impact. Drive Impact is a universal mechanic and it has the ability to absorb 2 hits. So the dummy Ken will do Drive Impact after blocking a jab. If I do 2 jabs after the first one, you can see they got absorbed. I was able to block the Drive Impact, but they got absorbed. If I do a medium, for example, now, there's nothing I can do there because the Drive Impact hits me during the recovery of the medium. So that's how it works. But if I do an attack, so once the Drive Impact comes out, if I do 3 hits, so there you go. So I did jab into OD Fireball, which is 3 hits. You can see the 3 hits breaks the armor. So that's the concept of this video, and that's with Drive Impact. But we're going to look at specifically throws and super to beat Drive Impact and other armored moves. So Drive Impact is very easy to cover. As I've just shown you, you can do attacks that have multiple hits, but also you can use super. Now, a common example where I use this with Ken and people don't realize there is a counter is where I do Jinrai kicks. So if I do crouch and medium kick into medium Jinrai, you can see I'm in recovery there. I get punish countered by the Drive Impact because I can't recover from the Jinrai kick. If I do light Jinrai, it might recover in time. Okay, so that's a true string, so the Drive Impact does not come out on the crouch and medium kick on block. So that's a true string, that's actually interesting. So to counter this, because I can't recover in time, what I can do is I can cancel the medium Jinrai into super, and that will punish the Drive Impact. Now you have to do it on reaction. When you see the Drive Impact, once you've done the Jinrai kick, you then want to cancel the Jinrai kick into super, the super art 3 on reaction. So let's try that now, and what I will do is after the medium Jinrai, I will cancel this into the low follow-up, and it will be the low follow-up that I cancel into Super Art 3. There we go. So the majority of the cast can do this. Examples are Luke. Luke can do his charged heavy punch knuckle and then cancel that into Super Art 3 on reaction to you trying to Drive Impact it. The same with Ryu. Ryu can do his donkey kick, and on reaction to you trying to Drive Impact the donkey kick, he can cancel that into Super Art 3. Okay, so let's look at some more matchup specific examples rather than looking at Drive Impact. So a thing that I notice Zangief players will do, not all of them, but some people will use charged heavy punch as an anti-air. Now this to me does not seem like a good idea, because it's very slow if you do the charge heavy punch. And whilst yes, it does have armor, the thing with this is you can bait it. It's a little bit like parry. So where you jump at somebody and they tap parry to anti-air, you just don't press. It's the same concept here. So if they are anti-airing with charge heavy punch, just empty jump. And what you can do is with the empty jump is when you land, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, you do a throw, or you could even do a super when you hit the ground, and both will punish the charge heavy punch. So to demonstrate this, we've got the dummy Ken doing a forward jump, not pressing anything whilst they're in the air. And when they hit the ground, they're going to do a throw. Now, in this example, obviously the dummy Ken is doing this by default, but you would not do this just autopilot. What you would do is you do the forward jump or the neutral jump, and you would not press anything. That is deliberate. And when you see them do the charged heavy punch, the Zangief player, that's when you then commit to the throw on the ground. It's very difficult for this to connect before you land on the ground and do the throw. They'd have to do a very early charge heavy punch to do that. But again, just to go back to the very beginning of this example, the reason they're doing this is because they want to beat your jump attack with the armor and then score a punish counter with the charge heavy punch. That doesn't really work if you do an empty jump. So let's look at this example now to demonstrate exactly what's going on. So forward jump, not press a button, and then throw. So let me try and anti-air this with the charge heavy punch. Perfect. I'm doing this a lot more recently and it works so many times, it's crazy. Now let me try and do the charge heavy punch early, so like a preemptive one. It should be the throw. Yeah, so there you go. Now the reason that's working is because the actual active frames of the charge heavy punch are coming out before my throw comes out, but that is not a reaction to the jump, that's just a commitment. I've never seen that happen in a match, but that could happen. Now this is where the next layer comes in. So if you think they've done an early charge heavy punch, or even if they just do a charge heavy punch, but you want to make sure you beat the charged heavy punch when you hit the ground, you can input super. Now this is not a commitment, this is again a reaction to the charged heavy punch. So let me just put the replay on the actual recording. So that's what the Ken's going to do. It's going to do a forward jump, not press anything, and on reaction to hitting the ground, seeing the charge heavy punch, doing super. And the reason this is going to work is because it has invincibility frames, and that means the charge heavy punch will not be able to beat the super during the invincibility frames, the strike invincibility. So let's try that again now with a more early, a more preemptive charge heavy punch to the jump. You can see that works. There's no way that the charge heavy punch will beat that unless they do a super duper early charge heavy punch, which will not be a reaction to your jump at all. I don't feel charged heavy punch is a good anti-air option from Geefs anyway. They shouldn't really be doing it, but they do online, so you may as well abuse that situation. Geefs should be using the OD lariat or lariat to anti-air. So looking at Geefs charge heavy punch again, the ways to counter this attack, there's quite a few ways. You can use lows, you can use throws, you can use armor of your own, you can use drive impact if you delay it, you can use super art, and it only has one hit of armor. So the last thing I want to mention about Geef's charge heavy punch is specifically against Ken. So Ken can approach the opponent with run, so you can use the quick dash to feint something, or you can commit to step kick, or even do run overhead. Now if you don't know this, run overhead can be cancelled into super art 3 only, but run step kick, the actual kick, that one, can be cancelled into all supers. So if the Geef is using the charge heavy punch to deal with Ken's run pressure, you can counter that with super art cancels. So that's what it looks like if I don't cancel, I get punished. But if I have super art ready, you can punish it. I don't really see Geefs using charge heavy punch on wake up, but the same principle applies during the wake up scenario. If you see the armored, the charged heavy punch, and you commit to overhead or step kick, you can just cancel into super art. So Marissa is another character that has armored attacks. It's actually a key part of her toolkit. Her toolkit is all about countering your attacks with armored attacks to brute force her way in and score damage. So the first example we'll look at is Marissa's OD Gladius. That move right there. This can be used in a number of ways. Now the two ways I see it used the most is on wake up or also off target combo, and I'll show you how to counter this. So it works very similar to Drive Impact, where it has 2 hits of armor. On the 3rd hit it will break. So you can use 3 hits to break the armor in those situations. But where people are using it on wake up, I like to use super art, and what I will do is I will meet it with a button that I can cancel. So for example, stand heavy punch, and then from the stand heavy punch I can cancel into my super art. Now what makes that situation easier is because I've set up the Oki situation to get a meaty stand heavy punch. So after the run DP, a forward dash stand heavy punch is a good meaty strike option, and this is special cancelable, it's confirmable. So if I know I'm going for a meaty stand heavy punch and I'm looking for the armor and wake up, I can then react to the armor very easily. It's very easy to confirm that as well. A much easier solution to wake up armor is just do a throw. Throws beat armor. Or another simple solution is just use low attacks. OD Gladius will lose to lows. So another place you'll see Marissa's use the OD Gladius is off target combo. Now target combo is the medium punch is -8 on block. So this is the sequence. You'll see them do that. So what you can do is you can actually commit to an option like Super Art 1. Super Art 1 has 7 frames to start up, so it will punish the target combo and block, but if they do cancel into Drive Impact, they cancel into OD Gladius, even Drive Rush, it will cover all those situations as a punish. So let's look at the medium punch target combo into OD Gladius specifically. They can't do that, they get punished for every single option they use. So another example is Marissa's Scutum attack. I hope I pronounced that right. So this is a stance that has armor, and the stance can be cancelled into 3 different things. So it can be cancelled into an overhead, a low, and also a command grab. So the way that the armor works for this move is a little different. If you do a strike or a normal, they will counter the strike. It will get absorbed, your attack, and they will do an automatic counter. So to beat the stance, you can use lows, throws. You can use Super Art, but you can't do a button into Super Art because the button that you use will be absorbed and the counter will come out. So I did buff a Super Art off the crouching medium punch, it didn't come out. But that will work on reaction. If you jump whilst you're in stance, you don't want to press a button because that will cause the counter to come out. One other thing to note about Scutum is the OD version, that will not get blown up by lows. So do not try to use lows to counter that. So that's it for the video, guys. You need to understand how the armor works for each character and understand your counters for those particular armored situations. Any questions, any queries, always give me a shout. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.